Hi guys, and welcome to another kit review. Okay, so today we're going to have a look at a kit from Tamiya. As you can tell, it is a Sturmgeschutz 4, basically a Stug IV Sd.Kfz 163. Okay, this kit came out in 1988 and it is a rebox which basically just changed the box of Tamiya's original Stug IV, which came out in 1976. The kit number for that was MM87. So this kit is 35087. So there's your tie-in. Okay, so this kit's been around for quite a while. 88 was when this particular rebox came out. It is an ongoing issue from Tamiya, so they are constantly manufacturing this particular kit. They just haven't upgraded it from that date. So this kit I bought new. It cost me around $20 Australian, which isn't that expensive. It's hardly anything when you can consider that this is a Stug IV. Stug III's, okay, in Australia go for around about $50 at the moment, around about $50 Australian. Okay, that's for a Stug III. This is a Stug IV, and that's including the Tamiya ones. So there isn't a great deal of difference as far as the purpose of the vehicle is concerned. They were both tank destroyers. This one was made by Krupp. Okay, they didn't manufacture Panzer III's, which is what Stug III was based on. They manufactured Panzer IV's, so therefore they built their assault gun, so to speak, on Panzer IV chassis. That's the really main difference. Of course, there are other differences, etc., but this one's based on a Panzer IV chassis, and Stug III is based on a Panzer III chassis. Okay, so this is the box art, typical Tamiya, white background. Okay, beautiful artwork of the actual vehicle itself, so it all stands out. Let's have a look at the rest of this box. So, on the side, Japanese, this is the history of the vehicle in Japanese. I can't speak Japanese, but I can see it says 1941 and other specifications in there, so alright, this is the history of the vehicle in Japanese. It did use the 7.5 centimeter converted pack anti-tank gun, lethal weapon. You do get a commander figure with this, okay, just the one. And on the other side of the box, advertising for Tamiya's Panzer IV, Panzer III, Stug III, Tiger 1, and Panther. Okay, so as you can tell, these are full color cover art on these particular kits, so that's old style advertising for Tamiya. Alright, so that's the box. Let's have a look and see what I bought. Okay, so there she is. One bag of sprues. Okay, upper hull, commander figure, Schurzen side skirts. Right, so that's that one. Lower hull. Okay, we'll have a look at these in detail shortly. Vinyl tracks. One more bag that has the decals, polycaps, and the running gear in it. Back of the tank, drive sprockets, idler wheels, etc. Okay, and on the bottom we have instructions in Japanese completely, and a little caution warning, PS polystyrene. Alright, so it just basically says heat with sprue with PS marking, other sprue may generate poisonous gas if heated. Never worried about that in the past, so I guess that's just something new in 4 different languages. English instructions. Okay, so in a second, there's nothing else in the box, guys, just a few more cautions and things. In a second, we'll have a look at the instructions and the decals, and then we'll have a look at the sprues. Okay, so let's have a look at the instructions. Alright, so this is old school Tamiya, I should say. You'll see on the new Tamiya kits, it will have the history of the vehicle in usually 4 different languages: Japanese, French, German and English. Old school kits included the full Japanese instructions and full English instructions, and I'm assuming that if it was going to Germany or somewhere, it would probably have full German instructions, but I can't say yes or no on that one. Alright, so as you can see, full history of the vehicle, why it was developed, what it was used for, etc., specifications, all that kind of thing. Really good thing to read. Take a few minutes while the hull's gluing, wheels are gluing on or whatever, and have a read of the history. It's always good to know the history of the vehicle that you're modeling. Okay, so that's the front page. Okay, so newer, well, I should say some of the newer Tamiya kits don't include a sprue layout, but this one does. As you can see, there are only 4 sprues in this kit. Okay, fairly simple, straightforward. List of all the parts. Something else indicates it's an older kit. List of all the parts with actually what they are: muffler, tail light. There's a couple of unnecessary parts in here as well. See, unnecessary, figure right hand, figure left hand. Okay, a lot of kits nowadays don't have the space because of the complexity. They just revert to simple basic numbering systems. Okay, so we start off with the wheels. Road wheels, idler and drive sprocket all get poly caps inside, so the wheels will move on this. Okay, then we move on to the back of the tank, exhaust pipe, fittings, etc. Okay, fairly simple, standard Panzer IV exhaust. Then we go on to the lower hull. Alright, and we've got the support rollers going on. We've got the suspension mounts going on for the wheels. Right, back goes on. Hooks and things going on the front. That's for your spare track. Then you put the wheels on. Fairly simple, straightforward. Nothing to this one. It's an easy kit to build. Definitely a weekender. Alright, so then we've got 2-part gun barrel. Okay, a basic breech section for inside. So details on the inside are sadly lacking, unfortunately. There is no interior in this kit. Then we put the figure together. It's your decision how you're going to paint him. This suggests camouflage cloth, but you could just get away with standard field grey or almost anything. Okay, so Panzer IVs came out last couple of years of the war. Uniforms by that time were a variety of shades, variety of types and styles. Okay, so colouring uniforms, you can add a little bit of colour differentiation just to break it up. Okay, so let's see. Then we carry on to upper deck. Just fitting all the tools, etc. on. Fire extinguisher, mainly the tools, and the machine gun shield. Up or down, it's your preference how you want that done. And then we get to the hatches. Alright, so this is the commander's hatch. Can be closed or open. The jack. Okay, spare wheels. These are your support frames for the Schurzen. Okay, side skirts. Okay, this is your cement block that goes on the front. Okay, as it says, do not fix C7 and hook when cement block will be used. So this is an option here. Later vehicles or a slightly different mark, they put this concrete block on to give the fighting compartment a bit more protection. And then we go back on to the other side, hatches, the other support rail, more tools, etc. Fittings going on. This is your hatch configuration if you're going to put the commander figure in, closed and open. Okay, you do get a machine gun to go in the gun shield. Okay, these are your side skirts with handles, so there are lots of little handles that go on the side skirts. They just basically hook on there if you want to. And if you wanted to, you could, since these are one part, you could split them, okay, and drop one off. We'll have a look at the side skirts. They do tend to be a little bit too thick as far as what they were like in real life. So you might want to sand them down or replace them with an aftermarket side skirt. Entirely up to you, depending on how far you want to go for detailing this tank. Tracks, vinyl of course, shows you how they go together. Literally very easy, and that's it. Okay, so once you put the tracks together, put the side skirts on, that's it. Before you put the side skirts on, of course, you will need to paint everything that they're going to cover, including the inside of the side skirts. Right, this would be the last step that you would consider with this tank. That's after you've painted the entire thing, I'd say. All right, and then we just get to, again, very basic, straightforward painting guide, all over dark yellow. Okay, shows you where the normal vehicle numbers and the crosses go. Also gives you a diagram of the units that are on the decals. Okay, tactical marks, which a lot of kit manufacturers leave off. All right, so at least it gives you some variation in that. And yes, you can camouflage this over that dark yellow to any paint scheme you want in red, brown, or dark green, or splotches, or whatever. Okay, so that's the instructions. Let's have a look at the decals. So as I said, tactical marks, and they are right there. Tactical crosses. Okay, individual numbers, so you can make up your vehicle number to suit what you want. I suggest a internet reference as to the correct numbering. Okay, because depending on which number you put first, that's literally saying this tank belongs to first company, second company, etc. You got divisional markings and kill markings for the barrel, which there's an awful lot. I wouldn't be using all of those unless you think this guy is a ace tank commander. Alright, so they look pretty good, really sharp, like I said. Okay, so let's have a look. There's your copyright, 1976 on the decals, but this is an ongoing reissue, so therefore it's all new. Okay, so we've seen the instructions and the decals. Now let's have a look at the sprues. So first off, let's have a look at, this is the bottom of the hull. Really not much detail. Okay, nothing on the bottom. There's a couple of mold marks which will need to be removed. Fairly plain, even to the mounts for the wheels and suspension. A little bit of bolt detail on the back there, but apart from that, there is actually nothing here. And if I turn this around, see if I can get it close enough for you to see, as you can tell, there is your 1975 copyright, They've upgraded the model issue number 35054, but it does say Panzerkampfwagen 4 on it. Okay, so that's a Panzer 4 hull from the mid 1970s. Alright, so let's have a look at the rest of the hull. Okay, main top hull, mudguards, commander's hatch, machine gun, MP42, other hatches, and your commander, and the gun mount, cable, the actual gun itself. Okay, so let's have a close look. Okay, so there is some nice detail. Not huge hinge detail on this, but it does have bolt detail. It does have tread pattern detail, which we'll pick out quite nicely. Sorry about my English. With a wash, so that's nice. At least there's some detail there. Let's have a look at your commander. Bit of flash, bit of cleanup on the mold line, although he's not too bad. As you can tell, he's just wearing a cloth cap. MG42 detail is, yeah, it's not too bad. You can get away with that, or you could replace it with an aftermarket. Entirely your choice. Let's have a look at the copyright on this here. There we go. So yes, 1976 copyright on this sprue, but like I say, okay, nice detail. Pity about the two-part gun barrel, but it is what it is. There's a couple of cleaning tools, okay, the mantlet and the cable. So yes, you could get an aftermarket kit for this. I'm pretty sure they do make them. There's a couple of spare track links there, but it is a 1976 kit, so I wouldn't expect too much out of nuts and bolts and things like that detail, but it will come up quite well. Okay, and as I say, they are reissuing these sprues constantly, so there's very little flash or cleanup required. Alright, so let's have a look at the next sprue, which is spare wheels, back of the tank, exhaust pipe, and tools. Okay, same again. This has got no copyright on, well, yes it has. Yes it has. My bad. There we are. There's your copyright. 76. The tools do have a bit of mold line flash. Okay, they will need a cleanup, but the detail on the fire extinguisher jack is pretty good. That's a bit of a concern. There's a dip in the plastic there. That's an old mold problem. That's where the plastic is cooled too quickly, or there hasn't been enough injected in. Back of the tank, yeah, reasonable bolt detail. Like I said, it is an old kit, so I don't expect super miracles, but it would be a nice weekender. Definitely a nice weekender. Alright, so that's your back of the tank and some spare wheels. Let's actually have a look at the main running gear. Dry sprocket, idler, road wheels. Okay, these are your, I can't remember what, gear housings and your suspension mounts. Alright, so let's have a look. Okay, so that's really sharp, clear bolts on the dry sprocket and the suspension mountings. Alright, simple basic suspension for a Panzer IV. Straightforward and easy to maintain. Nice bolt detail on the mounts for the dry sprockets. Okay, the road wheels, etc. Not a great deal of detail, but no, they will clean up and fairly well once you get them off the sprue, and should paint up okay. Alright, so that's not too bad. Alright, for an old kit, the detail so far, and the fact it doesn't have too much flash on it, makes it so much easier to put together. Alright, so that's the wheels. That's the body. Let's have a look at the side skirts. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could literally leave this entire sprue off the tank. These are your supports for the Schurzen. They go on the tank. These are your handles. I call them handles, fastenings that go on the inside of the skirts. This is your additional concrete block. Alright, so these are mainly, on this sprue are mainly the mounts for the side skirts. So if you didn't want to put them on, you wouldn't be at fault. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so you can't really see it, but I can see it. Faint shadows on the outside of the skirts. Okay, they are the mounting points for all the little handles, etc. that the skirts use to hang off the supports. Alright, so they won't show up once it's painted. They will show up if you hold these up against the light. Here you have a set of earphones for your commander figure, which is actually a bonus, because if you wanted to leave the figure out but have these sitting on the top next to the hatch, easy one. Okay, and so there you have those two blocks in the center there. They are the concrete blocks. Alright, these are the add-on concrete blocks for additional protection for the fighting compartment on the front of the vehicle. Okay, so that is an option. You don't necessarily have to if you want an early one. You can leave those off or put them on later. Okay, and that is almost all of it. We've seen the top and the bottom. The only other thing I've got to show you is, and I might as well, poly caps for the wheels and the vinyl tracks. Okay, these are your vinyl tracks. They are quite flexible. So as I said, this is a reissue or an ongoing issue of a old Tamiya kit Okay, very little flash, very little cleanup, because they are constantly cleaning the moulds. Unlike some manufacturers, Tamiya cares about the quality of its ongoing lines. Okay, and that's it, guys. That's all I have to show you. So that is Tamiya's Stug IV Sd.Kfz 163 in 1/35th scale. Okay, as I said, issued in 1988, a rebox of the original issue from 1976. Still a good kit, still a great weekend kit, still be impressive once it's painted up to sit on the shelf or in a diorama. Okay, and as usual, thank you for watching. Hope you got something from this, and until next time, take it easy.